Let us go back to the very first episode where Watashi fails to convince Kakashi and subsequently thrown off the bridge. To the moment when time came to a standstill as he lay suspended over the river's dangerous waters, reminiscing on all his life choices over the past years that led him to this moment. Will he go on to live well and learn to appreciate the fullness of life's absurdities and wonders? Or will he once again regress, live with regret, turn back time and over again until he no longer has the will to turn back any further, become a despondent, give up on trying, and walk his life as now ever unchanging? You ever feel like you want to shut yourself off from the rest of the world? Like, you're tired of being disappointed by the outside world, and you're afraid of being disappointed again. Because it hurts when you set expectations but fail to meet them. And then you fail to meet those expectations again and again. Wouldn't it be nicer if those expectations were never set in the first place? What if you could just disappear into a world where nobody else existed? No people means no expectations, which means no failures, which means no disappointment. And it's not like anyone would miss you. Nobody will ever love you. How could anybody love someone so consistently fraught with failure? You'll never be enough for that girl. You'll never be enough for anybody. You do the world a favor by leaving. You could spend every day eating only fried foods, making your body worse, but you can ignore it. Ignoring your problems only let them get worse. But if you don't care about yourself, it doesn't matter. Let your assignments continue to go undone. Stay in bed all day and don't eat. Or overeat. Stay inside all day. Don't talk to anyone. Don't make any meaningful connections, as people will only end up disappointing you, or you will end up disappointing them, just like how you disappoint yourself. You can't control other people. You can control whether or not they will hurt you, and most likely they'll hurt you. You can't trust other people. You must build an impenetrable wall between yourselves and other people. The only person you can control is yourself. So it's better to exist in a world where only you exist, and for the rest of the world to exist without you. You deserve to live a life of eternal solitude in a world without love because you are a pathetic loser who can't even do the tiniest things, and you don't even deserve to exist. This, to me, is the tatami galaxy. An endless cycle of hopelessness that only gets worse and worse and worse. It's a pattern of thinking that once you get caught in it, you'll feel hopelessly trapped, and you'll feel hopelessly, terribly alone. This is exactly what depression feels like, and it's what can happen when you become so frustrated with what you perceive as failure, that you give in and let the failure consume you. And depression is very often a natural reaction to absurdity. Absurdity, by definition, is a state of events being perceived as irrational or wildly unreasonable. When things don't go how we want or expect, we can often feel powerless as a result. Because just like how the world feels beyond our control, we feel like we don't have any control over our own lives. And in this state of powerlessness, it is very easy to succumb to our worst thoughts and eventually fall into depression. But maybe we should reassess what we perceive as irrational. What exactly do we think is being unfair? Not being able to meet a raven-haired maiden? Is that really unfair? A world with airships, poorly made student films, secret societies, sex dolls, miraculous tortoise brushes, cat ramen carts, Castella cakes, Mojigumon keychains, and glittery glowing fireworks. Is this world really so bad? Perhaps the world isn't as absurd as you think it is. Maybe the only thing that's really absurd is how you're looking at it. If one is wondering how to get out of the tatami galaxy or the overwhelming emotions associated with failure, an easy answer might be to simply not fail. Achieve the rose-colored campus life and boom, depression is over. Or maybe more helpfully, it might be better to reassess what you originally perceived to be as failure. Recognize that this pattern of thinking isn't healthy and you don't have to think this way. And it's okay that you become trapped. Even the brightest of minds can get trapped sometimes. And while this may not apply to all your problems, you can recognize that for some of the issues you face, the only person who created this endlessly repeating inner world is yourself. and thus the only person standing in your way is yourself. Not anyone else, and especially not Ozu. And you are more than capable of overcoming yourself. Watashi did not waste the past 2 years. His college life was filled with extraordinary events and characters with many memorable experiences, some good and some bad, which all helped enrich him into the person he is today. And you too. You're doing okay. She does take Akashi out to Nekarama at the end of the show. And how good was it? It was absurdly good.